question 25. So Tom and Jerry were playing hide and seek at the playground. The grid shows the positions of the different points they were standing, and Tom walked directly from point J to W in a straight line. In which direction did Tom walk from point J? From point J is over here, right? W is over here. So which direction did he walk? Always look at your compass here. Draw out your compass from the point that they ask you, which is point J. So from is a very important keyword, okay? From. It just tells you that you need to draw your compass, okay, based on this point, which is point J. So your north compass is here. North. Opposite of north is your south. Then after that, we will go horizontal, right? Always remember WE, west, east. And you look at your W, okay? Can you see it's like this? So, can you all see the answer? North, east, okay? So your answer is just northeast for part A. Northeast. Part B. Jerry was standing from a certain point facing A. He turned 180 degrees clockwise and faced point Z. Which were all the possible points Jerry could be standing at? Your A is right here. Your Z is right here. At first, you face at your A. Later on, you turn 180 degrees clockwise. You will face your Z. So it just nice. Actually, if you look at the line like that, right? At first, you face here, right? 180 degree clockwise is one straight line, then after it becomes face 0. So 180, it just worked just nice like that. So what are the possible points he could be standing at? Then isn't it? He can be at G, at M, and T, no? Yes, GMT. Can GMT. It can be MGT or TGM, as long as you need to write these 3 points. Question 26, okay, which a lot of y'all requested. The line graph shows the volume of water in the tank over 40 minutes. Tap A was turned on 40 minutes for water to flow into the tank. 15 minutes after tap A was turned on, tap B was also turned on. And with this line graph given here, they asked us the first question, what is the increase in the volume of water in the first 10 minutes? Let's get our intervals correct first. Zoom inside here, always look at count the intervals first. 1, 2, 3, 4. So 4 intervals give you a value of 100. So you must take 100 divided by 4 to find the value of one interval first, which you will know is 25. It means it's 25, and 25, 50, and 25, 75, 100. This is how it works. So you started at what? You started at 75 right here. And then, what happened? Look at this. They want first 10 minutes. So let's look at the 10 minute. Where's the 10 minute? 10 minutes here. And then you look like this. 10 minutes is how many liters? 125. Alright, so from 75 to 125, what is the increase in the volume of water? What do you guys do? Yes, you take the final volume, you minus what is the volume at first. So you will get, okay, the increase in the volume, which is 50 liters, right? Okay, 50 liters. Very good. Now, part B. How many liters of water flowed into the tank in 1 minute after tap B was turned on? 15 minutes after tap A was turned on, tap B was also turned on. So 15 minutes is where the change happened. In the 15 minute, right, A contributed how much already first? From here to here, how much water here at the moment? If this is 100, this is 125, this is 150 liters. Okay, thank you. When tap A was running, right, it has already contributed 150 liters, okay, including the 75 liters at the onstart. From 15 minutes all the way until the end, A and B are running. So A and B are running. If I just want to know 1 minute, right, what is that rate that is going on, I don't necessarily have to take the whole thing because the rate is going to be the same. For example, let's say I want to choose 20, okay, is that I know, okay, plus another 25, right, is 225 liter. 20 minutes, right. Now with A and B together, right, volume of water inside the tank is 225 liter. So now what you can do is you take this amount, okay, minus away the top amount. This one I will put it on top, this one I put it below so you can see a little bit better, okay? When I use this to minus, right, everybody, 20 minutes minus the 15 minute, right, you all will get the 5 minute. This 5 minute is what tap. Is it A and B or is it A? Both. Very good, it's both, not just B alone, because when you take 20, which is like this, you minus away 15, you're getting this part here. And this part here is where A and B are being turned on. You need to take 225 liter minus 150 liter, which you will get 75 liter. Now, what is the rate? 1 minute after tap B was turned on. Means A and B together, right? So 1 minute where A and B, okay, is happening, you will take 75 liter divide by 5, because here to here you divide by 5. And that will give you 15 liter. Now the hard part here is students will straight away use this one, and they will straight away 225 divide by 20. They will think that, hey, this one A plus B already, what? 20 minutes is 225, I just divide by 20. You cannot work that way because, right, part of the 225 liter of water is already contributed by tap A alone here. B only ran after the 15 minutes, which is from 15 to 20. So B only ran for 5 minutes. That's why you cannot take 225 divided by 20. Zhi Xiang went to a shop to buy a bag. The shop gave a discount of $5 for every $25 spent. Zhi Xiang paid $96 for a bag. What is the price of the bag before the discount? I'm going to draw this table to show you what is happening. Every time you spend money, okay, specifically, right, you spend $25. What is happening is the shop will give you a discount of $5. So what happened? There's a discount portion here. Alright, so every time you spend $25, you got discount of $5. So what is your final price, everybody? Looking at what is happening here. $25 minus $5 is $20. Now, $96 not very far away. Let's just list it out. If let's say you spend $50, how much discount will you have? $50 is made up of two $25, right? $25, right? $10, very good. So your final price is $40. Okay, if you take a look at 96, right, it's not really a multiple of 25. Since you pay 96 for the bag, and that is after the discount. So that means, right, this 96 is somewhere around the final here. And to be very, very close to this 96, right, you should be trying numbers like, let's say 100. Or 125. Okay, bear in mind, I'm working with multiple of 25 to do this type of question. Now, I want to ask you all, if it's $100, $100 is made up of 4 times of 25, right? So what is your discount here? If $25 discount is $5, if $100 discount is how much? Here you times 4, right? So here also times 4, so the discount should be $20, right? So your final price should be 80, right? So 125, you increase another interval of $25, right? If you increase another $25, means you have another $5 discount. That means now your discount will be 25. 125 minus 25, right? Your final amount of money is $100. Actually, if you take a look at here and here, right, this person is entitled how much discount? 20 or 25? Why you say $20? Why not 25? Because the fact that you spend 96, right, means you haven't hit 100. So it shouldn't be here, this level, you know. The maximum level it can hit is until here. So her original price, right, is $96 plus that $20. $116. Okay, $116. Okay, so how do you check your answer, right? Is she spent $116, correct? So you ask yourself, $116 can make up how many $25? First $25, every time you make up $25, you got $5 discount, right? So you got $5 discount here. Another $25 make up $50, you minus another $5 discount. Another $25 now make up 25, 25, 25, now 75, okay? You minus another $5. Then still can. 25, 25, 25, 25, now it's 100, which is still possible because it's 116, right? So you still got spend that $25, which minus $5. Then 25, 25, 25, 25, 25 times 4 is $100 already. You take the 116 minus away the $100, right? You are left with remaining $16. This remaining $16, you cannot be entitled the $5 discount because it didn't hit the $25. So the $25 that you get is you got 4 of them, and 4 of them will make up the $5, $5, $5, $5 discount. In total is $20 discount. That's why if the final price is 96, you add back the amount of discount that was given $20, this will give you original price, which is 116. Okay, we have STUV is a rectangle made up of triangles A, C, D, E, and a 4-sided figure B. Okay, and then they say ratio of B to C is 3 to 1. B to C is 3 to 1. A to D to E is 2 to 3 to 1. Usually when you have 2 ratios, you need to look at the repeated identity. So what is your repeated identity here? You look at your B and C. Your B and C make up what fraction of that rectangle? Half, right? Yeah. Do you know why is it half? Because half times the base is the length, ma, times the height is the breadth, ma. Usually your rectangle is length times breadth, right? But this triangle, because it's half times the base is your length, the height here is your breadth. So it's literally half times L times B. It's basically half of your rectangle. If this is already half, that means the remaining here and here will form another, yes, another half. So they should be the same, right? B plus C is actually the same as A plus D plus E. Because they form half of that triangle, they should be the same. So 3 plus 1 is a 4. 2 plus 3 plus 1, you will get a 6. So since they both form half of the rectangle, we need to make it the same. 4 and 6, right? To make it the same, don't make it to 24, that's too big. Okay, make it to 12. So you're going to times 2, and then here you're going to times 3. And then you have 9 to 3 to 12. Here everything times 2, you get 4 to 6 to 2 to 12. A as a fraction of B, it means it's A over B. 4 over 9, well done. So that's the answer, okay? So let's look at question 17. We have Gary spends 5/8 of his money on 10 identical notebooks and 10 identical files. Then he spent 5 over 6 of his remaining money on a bag. So the most important keyword here, okay, everybody, is your remaining money. It tells you you can do your part-whole model or your branching. So how do I do branching? Is I will always start off with the keyword that is called my total. Every time branching, branch out 2 branches. So your total money is 8 units. Look at here. 8 units of his money. So let's put the 8 on top. And out of it, he spent 5 units on 10 identical notebooks and 10 identical files. Branch out that time, the 5 unit, right, is for your 10 notebook plus 10 identical file. So when you take 8 minus 5, your remainder here should be a 3 units. Once you're done with this part, look at the next fraction right here. Your remainder is your denominator, 6 units here. So put the 6 unit in here. Out of the 6 unit, 5 unit is spent on the bag. So you're going to branch out 5 units spent on the bag. And then if you take 6 minus 5, you're going to get 1 unit, which is the left. So the very first thing what I will do is I will make remainder the same. On top here is 3 unit, below here is 6 unit. So to make it the same, I will times 2. And if I times 2, it will affect all my numbers here because they come from the same number bond. So I will times 2, I will get 16 unit, 6 unit, and a 10 unit. Now check your numbers from bottom up. 1 unit plus 5 unit is 6 unit. 6 unit is your remainder plus whatever you spend here, 10 unit, total is 16 unit. What fraction of Gary's money was spent on the bag? Your bag is 5 unit out of total 16 units. So your answer is 5 over 16. Each file costs $4 more than each notebook. So every time you see the keyword more than, right, you will draw your model already. 1 file to 1 notebook is $4 more. So let's draw it. $4 more. Okay. Bag costs $38 more than each notebook. So your 1 bag costs $38 more. Okay, I need to draw $38 more. $38. So if you don't have any clues at all, then what I suggest you to put is just put a 1 part right inside. Okay, why I use 1 part, not 1 unit? Because just now, my unit is represented here already. So I don't want it to mix up with whatever I got earlier on. This one is talking about the money that's left. You cannot say money is left 1 unit you put here, okay? They represent different things. So to distinguish them, I'll put a 1 part right there. If you look at your bag here, your bag is 1 part plus $38. Tell me, it's equals to how much or how many units earlier on your bag? Very good, your bag is 5 units. So you're linking your model here. Your bag is 1 part plus 38. You're linking with whatever you have just now is 5 unit, right? So let's write that down, 5 unit. Now, I want to go and link up with here. Look at this. My 10 notebook and 10 files, right, is 10 unit, right? I want 10 unit. I don't want 5 unit, okay? So, if I want 10 unit, right, what I do, I will times 2. 2 part plus $76 is my 10 unit. If one notebook is 1 part, 10 notebook, right, is 10 parts. One file is 1 part plus $4. Then 10 files is 10 parts plus $40, right? Everything just times 10. What I'm trying to do is I'm trying to get out the 10 notebook and 10 files so that I can make use of my 10 notebooks and 10 files just now, which is equals to my 10 unit. And just now my 10 unit I found out is 2 part plus 76. So my 2 part plus 76, okay, here is equals to 10 unit, which is my 10 notebook and 10 file, which is equals to my 10 notebook and 10 file here. So essentially what it means, 10 part plus 10 part, it will give you a 20 part, and there's still an excess of $40. Okay, my 20 part here, I need to minus away the 2 part on the other side, right? Let me just put in the dollar sign. Okay, my $76 here, I need to minus away the $40 on the other side. Okay, 76 minus away $40 is a $36, is equals to 20 part minus 2 part is 18 part. 1 part is $36 divided by 18. My 1 part is a $2. And if my 1 part is the $2, right, you want to find out how much money Gary was left. Remember, Gary was left with 1 unit, not 1 part. Unit and part are different, okay? So, if you want to get your unit, you can first find your bag. Your bag is 5 unit, right? Your 5 unit, your bag is the same as 1 part plus 38. To find my bag, it is 1 part, which is $2 plus $38 is $40. And this bag, $40, is equivalent to 5 unit there. So, to find out that 1 unit, right, if 5 unit is $40, then your 1 unit is $40 divided by 5. Okay, that's how you get 1 unit is $8, and this is how much he is left with, which is 1 unit. Okay, so your answer is $8 right there. Alright, so look at this question. Peter designed a logo as shown. What is the total area of the shaded logo? Can you see that this, they are identical semicircles? So if they're identical, I'm going to label them as AAA. Easier for me to find their area later on. Then, let's look at the other part. So can you see this semicircle right here? Diameter is a 14. And I hope you're able to tell also, this one is actually pretty much is the same shape, right? Can you see it's the same shape? Yeah, same shape, right? Okay, so I'm going to break it down into this semicircle and this semicircle and this semicircle, which they are the same. I'm going to label it as B, B, B. And then last but not least, this curved part, and this curved part, and this curved part, okay, I will label it as C, C, C. And I'm going to find A, B, C, all these add together, that will be my total area, okay? I'll break it down like that. So A, right, is a semicircle, so half. Look at this, the pi is 22/7, so you times 22/7. Times what, everybody? Your A, the diameter is 7. Tell me what do I times to find the area? To find the area, always use the radius. Very good, 3.5, right? Or you can also take 7 divided by 2 also can. You will get 19.25. Alright, let's look at B, okay? Half times 22/7, because it's a semicircle, that's why I put the half there. Zoom inside, if your diameter is a 14, so times what, everybody? Times 7 times 7. 77. Okay, your C is not a regular shape, right? Your C, right, is a weird shape like this. But then, right, if you really take a look closely, it actually comes from your, like this. Yes, quadrant minus away a semicircle. Very good. So to get the C, quadrant first, 1/4 times pi times, if this is your quadrant, your radius is a 14 right here. So times 14 times 14, you'll find the quadrant already. But don't forget, you need to minus the semicircle. Agree with me, if the radius is 14 here, the radius will also be 14 here for this quadrant. So which also means this semicircle diameter is 14. And if this semicircle, the radius is 14, is basically the same as this semicircle whose radius is also 14. It's basically this same semicircle is your B actually. So right, actually you can just minus away your B, which is a 77. And if you key into your calculator correctly, you will get 154 minus 77 equals to 77. That's your C. If you want the total area of your shaded parts, right, is 3A plus 3B plus 3C. So what you just basically need to do is you take 3 multiplied by your A is 19.25 plus 3 multiplied your B is 77 plus 3 multiplied by your C, which is 77 also. So I will get 519.75 cm squared. Alright, now part B. Finding the perimeter of the logo. Okay, same thing. I'm going to break it down to A, B, C, so it's easier for you guys. Let's look at A first. Now, A, I will look at circumference, which is the curved part first. Okay, circumference, there's a specific meaning one. Circumference is slightly different from perimeter. Perimeter, right, it will include the curved and the straight parts if there are any. But circumference is only the curved part. So circumference of the A, right, is basically half times, okay, your pi times your diameter. Your diameter is a 7. So right here, you will get an 11 for circumference of A. Let's do the same thing to find circumference of B. Half multiplied by pi multiplied by, look at your B here, your diameter is a 14. So you multiply by a 14 and you will get a 22. I'm finding one of this, okay, one of this, which later I need to times 3, okay, because I got 3 of it later on. And then next, right, I need to find my C, which is this one. And this one is just basically a quadrant. Remember, I told you it comes from a quadrant like this. So you just need to find circumference of a quadrant, which is your C. So I'm going to write down, okay, circumference of C is a quadrant, so with 1/4. Multiply by 22 out of 7. Multiply, okay, this is the part that many students always get wrong. Okay, everybody, look at this quadrant. If your radius is 14, remember, that is your radius, that's not your diameter. Could you let me know what is the diameter of this quadrant? When I say diameter of this quadrant means you must imagine it's the whole circle at that time, right? What is that diameter? Yes, it's 14 times 2. 28, huh? Very good. So you times 28, right? Then you have 22. So how do I find perimeter? First, let's count how many A I have. 1, 2, 3. So I will take my A, which is 11, multiply by 3. Next, how many B do I have? 1, 2, 3 also. So I will take 22, multiply by 3. How many C do I have? 1, 2, 3. So my C is 22 times 3 also. But I'm not done. Now I only calculated all the curved part. Okay, but in fact I still got more curved part I haven't found. Isn't it there's another curved part I haven't found out here? And just now I told you this is the same as your B, right? So how many of that do we need? We need 1, 2, and 3. So we need 3 more B's again. So if your B is a 22, right? 22 times 3 again, that will find the purple part. So I highlight all the parts that I kind of found already, but there are still some parts I haven't calculated in my perimeter, which is here, here, and here. Okay, your 7, 7, 7. This is a 7, right? So it's a 7 times 3. So you should get 252. Okay, your answer is 252 cm. If you don't understand what I'm doing, I can color code for you. My A here is 11 times 3. B here is, my B is 22, right? So 22 times 3. Then my C here is 22, 3 of them, 22 times 3. And then this curved part, which is the same as my B, right? Since my B is 22, so also 22 times 3. And last but not least, my 7, 7, 7, which come from here. Okay, question 13. At first, tank A with 2/5 filled with water. Andy then poured all the water in tank A into a small container and 2 large identical containers without spilling. The height of the 3 containers were the same and all the containers were filled to the brim. What is the volume of water in A at first? To find the volume in A, very, very easy. I just zoom inside, Since it's 2/5 filled with water, I will take 2/5 multiply by length here, multiply by breadth here, multiply by height here, which is 15. And that will actually give me my volume is 18000 cm cube. And I can actually say my answer is 1800 cm cube or milliliters. Alright, now what they say you pour everything, all the water, you pour. And then the height will become the same. Okay, if your height will become the same, means the height here will be the same as here and here. Part B, they say that the base area of small container is 60 cm square. So your base area here is a 60 cm square. Okay, the fact that you fill up to the brim, right, means your height will be until here, right? And if you don't know the height, right, let it be 1 unit lah. If you fill up everything to the brim, means all your height is 1 unit here, alright? And then they also tell you the base area of each large is 120. So it means this base area is 120 cm square and this base area is 120 cm square. Now, how do I find the volume of water in here? I must take my base area times height will give me my volume of water. So I will take 60 times 1 unit, 60 unit, that is the volume of water here. I will take base area 120 times the height 1 unit, I will find the volume here as well. So it's 120 times 1 unit is 120 unit. Okay, now all the water here is going to be my 60 unit plus 120 unit plus 120 unit. And all the water here comes from where, everybody? Isn't it from here? And that, what is the value? 1800 ml, exactly, 1800 cm cube. So equals to 1800. So 60 unit plus 120 unit plus 120 unit, that will give you 300 unit equals to 1800 cm cube. So 1 unit is 1800 divided by 300. Cancel the zeros. And then cancel another 0 is 18 divided by 3 is just a 6. So 1 unit is a 6. How do you find the capacity of the small container? Capacity is the volume. So if your 1 unit is a 6, then you take 6 multiplied by your base area of 60, you'll find the capacity. 6 multiplied by 60, that will give you 360. Now capacity, take note, cannot write ml, must write cm cube because it is solid.